What is up, guys? I am here with the one and only Patrick. Bro, I'm so stoked to catch up with you, man. I've been seeing you crush it, and dude, welcome to the channel.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate everything you guys are doing so far.
Yeah, of course, bro. So, dude, update me, bro. I know we talked a little bit, but bro, tell people like who you are, what you do, and yeah, let's start there.
So I coach in the online fitness space with fitness, so nutrition, exercise programs, very saturated space. So um, you know, getting some traction and growing and scaling how I wanted to was a challenge for me. So kind of got to a place where I was like, hey, I need to seek outside counsel and learn from people that are doing things in the way that I want to be doing them, which ultimately got me, to you. But
Yeah.
I've been coaching for, probably like 5, 6 years collectively, but I just went full time in January this year. And, I had some growth initially whenever I went full time, but I feel like things kind of plateaued for, I mean, God, probably like 4 months, 5 months. And it got to a place again where I was just like, all right, I'm making progress, but not at the rate that I wanted to.
Yeah, totally. Do you remember how you found me? Was it YouTube, Instagram, or ad? Like, what was it?
Instagram ad, and then I followed you for, man, probably like 6 months to a year, honestly.
Mm.
And I had seen, your quality of not just the content that you're putting out, but your quality of life. Like, I think whenever you at first, I'm really big into cars, so I always pay attention to
Yeah.
what people drive. And I think you were driving a Jaguar F Pace at one
Yeah.
point. You had that, and then I saw you go to the Escalade, and I was like, all right, this guy's doing something right where, he's growing his business in a way where the success is inevitable. And I always look for that where I'm like, all right, people can talk all day, but where's the proof of the results? And not that having a nice car means you're successful by any means, but that was one of the components along with everything else with content and you posting, testimonials from clients like, hey, I was here, now I'm here. And it created this blanket of confidence that I said, all right, if I'm feeling this way and I see this potential solution,
Yeah.
the only thing in the way of me joining that solution is myself. And that's what led me to you. So it was add, follow, and then I think I DM'd you scale one day from one of your stories, and that was it.
Dude, I love it, bro. So whenever you first joined, like, where was your business at? How are things going when we first connected?
On paper, like things were good. I was doing 8.5K on average per month. My highest month was, a little over 10K. So, on paper, I had a, relatively successful coaching business, but it wasn't anywhere near where I wanted to. And then I joined the program in August, like mid-August. So, September and October were my highest months. I did just over 20K in October, and then I did 22.5 or sorry, a little over 20K in September, then 22.5 in October. So I went from I doubled basically in a matter of weeks. And the main component there was me obviously one, increasing the price of my coaching program, and then two, the way that I sell it.
Yeah.
Um, for me, those were the two big levers to pull because the price is challenging because whenever you're an entrepreneur, you're party of one, at least in the early years, and
Yeah.
it's hard to justify doubling your price or quadrupling your price for some people without having that proof of concept shown elsewhere. So being in the Slack chat, seeing the people that are like, "Yo, 3K PIF, whatever it was," I was like, "All right, if these people can do it, I can do that." And for me, that was a really big hurdle to get over was just the belief that I could charge that much. Um, and again, I'm not doing anything very different in terms of like the coaching program that I offer. It's literally just how I sell it and what I sell.
That's awesome, bro. What do you think? So you kind of said it. The biggest unlocks for you were just charging more, and then, getting better at sales. Talk about that. Like, were you like had you been wanting to charge more for a while? You just didn't know if you could, or did you not even think about it? And then, in regards to sales, what do you think has been the biggest shifts and changes?
Yeah. So in terms of the program and the cost itself, I think my biggest challenge was, especially in a service-based business, you're not It's not like, hey, it's $5,000 and you get this cool shiny pair of shoes. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you pay $5,000, you get me. There's nothing tangible there. But what I realized with that is it's not just the price point, it's the quality and the level of commitment that you're getting from the client on the opposite end of that. And then at the same time, your investment and determination to make sure that person actually succeeds, because you realize that there is a substantial commitment on their end. And whenever you're selling something, if it's $100 or $500, if people lose that and they burn that money, it doesn't change it doesn't like make them go, ouch, that sucks that I spent $100 and lost it. But if somebody pays you $3,000, their level of commitment to actually succeed with the program is significantly different. And you have to think about that from a coach's perspective. Our goal is to get people from point A to point B. And if you have somebody at point A that isn't really that determined to get to point B, you can be the best coach in the world, but ultimately it falls on them. So
Yep.
the increase in price obviously changes revenue, but it changed the dynamic of how I work, how my clients are, the quality of clients. Like, it totally transformed that process for me. So it wasn't just the financial gain from increasing prices; it was the client quality. Really is what really changed, and it made me level up too. Where I'm like, dude, if you're charging people a couple $1,000 for a program, it better feel like a couple $1,000 program. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
made me sharpen my own pencil too. And then on the sales side of things, so I've been in B2B sales for probably 7, 8 years. I was a sales director for 3 years before I even went full time this year. So I have experience in sales. Like, I've sold, $1,000 platforms, $50,000 platforms, like tech, logistics. I've been all over the place in B2B sales. And one thing that I realized with B2B sales is that you're selling a product, or, the software, whatever it is, you're selling a product, where with this now, you have to sell the outcome. And initially, when I started my coaching program, I took that B2B approach, where I was like, yo, listen how awesome I am, and look how cool my program is and what you get. But I never talked about outcome and why it was
Yeah.
important to that person. And that's one
Yeah.
thing that Tristan taught me with all these sales trainings. Like, do those things on Tuesdays or Thursdays, the sales calls each week,
Dude,
that is like the
bro,
creme de
isn't that alone just worth the program itself?
la creme.
Is learning
Bro,
sales? Yeah.
no- nothing else. I would pay that price twice to have those sales calls.
100%, bro. Like, I used to do the sales training, and I'm good at sales actually. But I was like, bro, I would rather just pay someone who's like an actual expert at sales. It's Tristan's hands down like the best at sales ever.
Yeah,
Literally, it could literally be a sales training program. But yeah, so I think people don't realize how important sales is, and then the offer and belief in yourself. And dude, I think what I'm hearing you say is that I need to get a supercar.
yeah, yeah. Essentially, McLaren.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's actually what I've been looking at.
Yeah.
I yeah, it's pretty cool. It's weird. It's cool to hear that too from you, because like I noticed that in people I follow
Mhm.
as well. And yeah, there's different levels to it for sure. But dude, that's incredible, man. How does it feel? Like, are you happy? Like, do you like where your business is at now? Like, do you feel like there's more to do, more to grow? Like, what's your thought process? How does it feel to make 20K in a month?
Feels good. I mean, obviously, first thought is like, damn, how much money did I lose these last, few years of not doing what I'm doing
Yeah.
now? But secondly, I mean, I was a sales director. I had this coaching business on the side that was doing, 60, 80K, 90K a year. So it's like, I had a pretty comfortable lifestyle where if me and my girl wanted to go to Gucci and she wanted a bag, like, I could go do that and not think twice about it, really. And going full time into my coaching business, it was this reality check of like, all right, like, things are a little bit different. And, especially as a man, you want to be a provider, not just financially, but, emotionally, mentally, physically, all those things. And whenever the financial kind of, what's the word to say, that sacrifice that was needed to go full time, whenever that was taken away, I felt like as a man, it almost it took something big from me, which was my ability to feel like I could provide. Because,
Yeah.
on a deeper level, like I grew up without a dad, so I never had a male figure provider in my life. So for me, a big driver was feeling like I could provide for a family at one day. And, before I went full time in my business, I had that feeling where I was like, kind of made it to where I want to be in life.
Yeah.
But I did feel that gap of like, but I want to be an entrepreneur. So yeah, going through that wall of like being there and then not being there and then now being back there and making more than my sales director position was paying me, you can't put a price tag on that, man.
Yeah.
Like the
I
money
love
is
that.
cool, but the feeling of like knowing that you did it and you're on the trajectory of where you want to get to in life is like powerful, to say the least.
100%.
I do a daily devotional, and I was looking at one from August, and it was basically saying like, I don't see what God's doing right now, but I pray in a few months that I do after I implement a few things in this program, and that I get clarity on like why I'm going through this season, and there's always meaning in the trials, but to be on the other side and on the up and up of that is feels great. To answer your question in a
That's awesome.
long-winded way.
Heck yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, I didn't realize how much that impacted me too. Like I've got a great dad, 100%. He worked a job, and my grandpa worked at the same company, AT&T. My mom kind of was on drugs during high school, so I moved in with my grandparents, and everyone in my family, I mean, not saying they're poor, like my family's, they were smart with their money, like paid off house, stuff like that, but they never made 200K in a year, 150, right? It was just normal jobs, get a job at AT&T, and that's kind of was the path, like, I think they were wanting me to go down or become a firefighter. My dad was always like, dude, if you could just, become a firefighter, man. Yeah, so the whole time, though, I kept trying to do my own thing, and that was the biggest fear I had, was how in the world am I going to provide, like for a family, for myself even. I was like so scared all the time. But yeah, God comes through. He's our provider, bro. And
Right.
two, not just that, but if you develop skills, put the work in, obviously nothing is ever guaranteed, but it's like working out. If you work out, eat the right calories for an extended period of time, you're going to see results.
Mm-hmm.
So results for some people could be 20K in a month. For others, it could be zero. But you didn't quit, so that's a good result, right? So, yeah, bro. Well, dude, let me ask you this. For anyone who's been watching my channel and kind of where you were 6 months ago and didn't see me get an Escalade or whatever, like what would you say to them who've been on the fence? And they're like, man, I've been thinking about maybe joining the program. I'm just not too sure. What would you say?
Get out of your own way. Same thing that I tell my clients. I'm like, people come to me for, not just weight loss results or, looking in the mirror and feeling more confident. They come to me that said they can show up, as a better mom, as a better dad, or whatever it is. But I'm like, we live in a world where there's endless resources. You can do it on your own. You can go spend years on your own and try to learn marketing and sales and all the stuff and piece it together yourself. There's a physical potential to do that, but there's a reason that you haven't done it. There's a reason that you are where you are now. And I tell all my clients, like, if you want different results, you need to make different decisions. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those decisions. Nobody wants to shell out however much your program costs now. It's not supposed to be comfortable, but there's a reason that there's that barrier to entry, because if you don't pay that price, you don't get the results.
Yeah.
It's so black and white to me now. Like there is a sacrifice and a suffering required to get the fruit of the labor that you're putting in.
100%.
99% of the time, you're in your own way.
100%. 99.9. I love that. Well, you heard him. And, bro, thank you for sharing your story. If you've been watching this, you've been seeing my content, and you're like, dude, Brandon, I'm ready to at least take the leap, which is the next step in chatting with you guys. What I want you to do, click the link down below. On that call, simply just going to get a sense of where you're at, where you want to get to, identify bottlenecks, and if we can actually help, we'll show you what it looks like. So again, if you want to learn more, what I want you to do, click the link down below, and we'll chat with you guys soon. Patrick, dude, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Just the beginning.
All right. See you guys.